Ferrari's graining-dominated but podium-winning Las Vegas Grand Prix was overshadowed by post-race unhappiness from one of its drivers, Charles Leclerc, who acknowledged later that he thought internal agreements were not being respected. And with the P2 of the Drivers' Championship on the line, Leclerc lashed out at his teammate and team after the race. Leclerc, who finished just over 2 seconds behind third-place teammate Carlos Sainz after swapping positions many times throughout the race, unleashed an intense outburst after the checkered flag, which race engineer Brian Bozzi plainly trying but failing to stop him. But after the race, Leclerc even went on. When Bozzi told him to pick up rubber after the flag for weight, Leclerc responded sarcastically, "Yes, whatever you want, as always." He then unloaded. Bozzi first said, "Charles, you did your job. Okay, thank you." Then Leclerc went off and said, Yeah, I did my job, but, being nice F's me over all the effing time. All the effing time. It's not even being nice, it's just being respectful. I know I need to." Bozzi tried to stop him by stating his name and asking him to stop, but Leclerc went on. Leclerc, shut up, but at one point it's always the same. Oh my fin God. To which Bozzi said, "Okay, but anyway, you did the right thing for the team." Bozzi then reminded Leclerc to pick up rubber again, to which he received a yeah, effing pickup, what the F you want, in response. Although this may have been an unintentional public message, given Leclerc then apologised for having the radio on and quickly pivoted to asking about McLaren and George Russell's winning margin. However, Leclerc's post-race remarks confirmed that there was one issue. But what was it? Both cars had significant tyre graining during the opening stint on medium tyres after pressing so aggressively behind Russell, but failed to pass. Leclerc had willingly let Sainz pass during that stretch since his own speed was so slow, only for Sainz to quickly experience the similar drop-off. So Leclerc lost track position, believing he was helping the team, but reclaimed it shortly before the second pit stop when Sainz weakened and let Leclerc to pass. Sainz went into the pits after that, although for an unnecessary additional lap, since Ferrari was not prepared to service him, and ultimately outpaced Leclerc by 3 laps. When Leclerc exited the pit lane following his second stop on lap 31, he was warned it would be really close to Sainz, who had already warmed up his tyres. Ferrari informed Leclerc via 2 communications that Sainz had been instructed not to overtake or put Leclerc under strain, and that Leclerc should focus on taking care of his tyres. Then, Sainz overtook Leclerc at the following bend. A obviously dissatisfied Leclerc quickly advised Ferrari, maybe try in Spanish, before pursuing Sainz home for the remainder of the race distance. He did not express his dissatisfaction to the press at first, but Sky Sports questioned him about it. "Just a little bit of frustration," he was saying. "It's okay. Every time there is this kind of frustration, there is not the background for everybody, and there is no need for me to go into any details of everything that's discussed, so I won't go further into that discussion. Frustrating, yes, but it doesn't change anything for the team. It's frustrating for the Drivers' Championship. A second place is always nice, but at the end of the day, it's okay." The Drivers' Championship reference indicates is 21 points behind Lando Norris in the highest attainable championship position, now that Max Verstappen has won the 2024 title. Ferrari is also chasing McLaren in the Constructors' title, closing the lead to 24 after Vegas with 2 races remaining. "I think I did my part in the first stint when I had the tyres that were completely gone. I didn't want to fight, so I let Carlos by, and then the rest is, we will discuss it within the team. I don't want to go into details," Leclerc continued. When pressed further, he clarified that it was not about the team favouring one over the other, but rather about things that we were told and that weren't respected. Again, I've already said too much. I don't want to go into the details whatsoever. It's just frustrating when it's like this, and it's been frustrating for me. But I can understand not everybody understands. Leclerc's responses, which he also discussed with Sky Sports Italy, showed it wasn't only about the precise directive to Sainz, but maybe a larger pre-race understanding, although no one at Ferrari has elaborated on what that was. When asked about Leclerc's dissatisfaction, Sainz, who is departing Ferrari at the end of the season, stated clearly that no one was satisfied with Ferrari's race execution. A source of dissatisfaction for him was that, in addition to Ferrari not being prepared to service him in that second pit stop, he had been pleading to be summoned into the pits in the laps preceding it and was not being heard. I think he grained the medium tyres, and I managed to get ahead before the pit stop on mediums, says Sainz. Then I did grain my hards. He, Leclerc, was coming quick behind me, and me anticipating what it was going to be, a situation, because Lewis Hamilton was straight behind Charles at the time, and I was pretty sure the team was going to ask me to let Charles by, because he was quicker at the time, as I was on grained tyres. I asked the team 2 or 3 times to box me, to get me out of the way, and get me a new set of hards to make sure I wasn't losing a lot of race time by having to let Charles by, and then having to fight Lewis at the same time. For some reason, we didn't box. I ended up having to let Charles by a lap later, and losing a lot of race time, and by the time I was going to box, we didn't even box. So, I guess he's not happy, but I'm also not happy by the way things were handled at the time. And yeah, I think no one's happy today in the team, because we all expected a bit more. I am on the podium, so at least I got that for the team, but at the same time, I don't think we could have finished much better than P3 and P4 today. Vasseur, for his part, acknowledged that Leclerc may be unhappy with being told Sainz won't put him under pressure and then being overtaken, but said, "They are doing comments on the slow-down lap, and they don't have always the full picture. We will discuss, and it won't be an issue. We have to avoid to fight, but at this stage I think that opening the stint, you have to be on the management side, and Carlos was already at lap 3 or 4 of the stints. I think it's more the fact that the situation was really difficult for everybody, but we will discuss tonight. It won't be an issue." He stated that he was not worried at all about any suggestions that Leclerc might be a less team member in the future. "I think again, it's always the same story," Vasseur added, "that they have to make comments, or they don't have to make comments, but they're doing comments in the lap, and they don't have always the full picture. We will discuss together, and it won't be an issue." Vasseur might say things will be good again this weekend. However, Charles Leclerc has informed Carlos Sainz that in their final 2 races together as Ferrari teammates, he will be thinking about myself only. Leclerc says that being courteous will not be on the agenda at the next race in Qatar. "I am not happy about Carlos, but I won't go into details," said the 8-time Grand Prix winner. "Why? Because we talk about these things before the race, and I'm always the only one who respects those agreements. From now on, I will be thinking about myself only. It's a shame that I couldn't get more points on Norris. It's not the first bout of tension this season between the teammates, and it is unlikely to be the last, especially in light of Leclerc's tentative response when asked if he agreed with Sainz's comment after qualifying that the collaboration between the teammates is as good as ever. Yes, was the shocking response, showing us all that things are definitely broken at Ferrari right now. Luckily for them, they have only a couple of races left together. So, what's your take on all of that? Is Leclerc right? Should Sainz have given back the position? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.